Just cracked 0 degrees Celsius, and it's, I don't know, maybe 10 past 6 in the morning. We had a frost as late as the 20th of October. It's the 2nd of November today. And no frost this morning, but I don't know, it feels this week kind of like summer is here. Noticing much more seed head on the grass, and there's just the hint of browning off. Certainly I can sense it, which means that the time for having a fire is rapidly coming to an end, because even if it is still permissible fire season here, we don't risk it when the grass is dry. It's just too much of a risk, particularly here, right beside a eucalypt woodland. Fortunately, we've got most of our big piles burned off. Roses are just starting to come in now. This plum tree doesn't have much fruit on it, but it had a lot of fruit last year, so see a little bit there. And I think it kind of is maybe a every other year proposition. The smaller one, which is the Mariposa, I think. I always forget whether it's Santa Rosa or Mariposa. It's got still quite a lot on it. Pretty happy with my extended potato bed. There's 2 different types in here. These were, this was the original potato bed here, and it was planted out first because it was already prepared. Then I had to sort of build this makeshift additional bed using old tree limbs. Seems to be working okay. You can see I fill some of the gaps with rocks and just sort of stabilize it with a few little posts. I think this is an old blind that I've used here to stabilize this, but and then there's 2 rows of potatoes, broadly 2 rows, which you can kind of see there. This little apple tree seems to be holding onto its fruit okay. Peach tree has suffered a lot of leaf curl this year, but the nectarine is okay. I should see whether there's any fruit on that. Ah, there is. It's good. I'm very against spraying for anything now, even using fertilizers, I have to say. You know, the classic NPK fertilizers. We don't have any direct access to water systems in the sense of rivers or creeks, but I don't doubt that what we do here could have some sort of indirect effect to those water systems, and I know that it's definitely no good for them to have fertilizer runoff into them, because there's all sorts of problems, algae bloom and whatnot. So I'm just not spraying for anything. Prepared to do now is to use a purely sort of organic fertilizer at appropriate times. I think I just have to write off my garlic this year. It's just atrocious. In fact, I may even just dig it up and do something else with this bed. I'm growing a nice thistle there, that's always good. I need to keep this area much cleaner because of the risk of snakes. I really shouldn't be leaving buckets and things like that around the place. It's just not sensible. And Leo's garden is pretty much finished. Well, it's certainly finished its spring flowers. That wormwood's about to burst into flower. The euphorbia's pretty much done. I should come and cut that. And the pumpkins, there are a few pumpkins. And here are my pumpkins. Yeah, so I don't hold a huge amount of hope out for these. And I've created a line of them here. So these are all direct sowed, and these are a much smaller pumpkin. I think it's called Jack Belittle. And a few of those have come up. The plan is that the pumpkins will just kind of take over this whole area, flow over the bed here and really just take up this whole section, which would be great if we get some pumpkins. But yeah, again, with such late frosts, it's kind of hard to get them in time. Wormwood's just about to bust into flower. There's going to be a lot of them. And those red there that you can see, which do contrast beautifully against the silver, they're just snapdragons that came from the courtyard years ago. They were moved out here, and they're obviously perennial because they just come back year after year. Okay, so here's my dahlia bed. The dahlias definitely got knocked back by frost. In fact, most of the first ones to come up went black and turned to jelly, and as far as I know, didn't survive. Maybe they regrow, I don't know, but you can see how one side seems to be doing much better than the other. I don't know why that is, but anyway, there's dahlia plants there. That's why I'm still freezing. It's just coming up to 1 degree now. It's about 20 to 7. Sun's just coming through, so it'll warm up. My fire needs attention. There we go. Sitting up on the ridge now to catch a bit of sun.